already 10 years ago. That's a long time ago. Okay. Please turn on your video and let's start off our seminar. Okay, Professor, her name is Kyung Hwan, Professor Kyung Hwan, NGU, and she works William Patterson University of New Jersey. Okay, and director, Smart World, social media application research and teaching, Smart Lab, and William Patterson University for 2020 to present. And she is now a full professor of her school since 2019. Oh, you Corona professor. Corona prof. And interim assistant chair, Department of Communication, and graduate program director, and associate professor from there, and assistant professor from there, which means she stayed at one school since she graduation. Wow, that's great. Okay, from now on, I am stopping here, and Professor Yu, stage yours, and you can handle everything.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Koo, for a wonderful introduction. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to share my screen first. I'm going to share screen. Then, hey, can everyone see it?
Good.
Oh,
sounds good.
Okay. Which one can you see the title of the? No. I selected wrong one. So let me see. I'm going to stop share, and I'm going to share screen again. About this time.
Great.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm NGU, as Dr. Koo just introduced. I'm the professor at William Patterson University of New Jersey. Thank you for inviting me as a speaker. It's an honor to present at this global Convergence research seminar. Today, topic is trust in user-generated travel contents. So we are going to discuss what makes people trust user-generated travel-related contents, what makes people trust it, and what is the consequence of the trust in these user-generated travel contents. Okay, and I'm going to note. So everything looks okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. I believe this seminar is about 2 hours, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this seminar consists of 4 parts. I'd like to start introducing myself, sharing my professional career path, and a little glimpse into my personal life. And in part 2, which is the central focus of today's seminar, I'm going to provide a comprehensive overview of past research on trust in user-generated contents related to travel. And moving on to part 3, which is the conclusion and future research, I'm going to summarize some of the key conclusion and discuss future research opportunity. Then we are going to conclude the seminar with a Q&A session. Okay, so that is the plan for today.
Thank you.
Okay. So who am I? I'm NGU. I'm the teacher and researchers. I do teach in actually Department of Communication, not Hospitality and Tourism Department. I do teach public relations, social media communication, and research method at William Patterson University of New Jersey. I believe many people in Korea don't know our university. So in next slide, I'm going to briefly introduce our school. We are located in suburban area of New Jersey, close to New York City. Okay. And it's about 30 to 40 minutes from the New York City.
Mhm.
And my research areas, my research interest is 4 areas, span to 4 key areas. One is user-generated content. I'm interested in travel review, social media contents. And second, I'm interested in trust, online trust. My research focused on how people evaluate those contents and what makes those contents credible. Okay. And also another area I'm interested in is persuasive technology, which means what makes technology persuasive? Can we convince people with the technology? My PhD dissertation, it's been already, 13 years ago. It was about the recommender system, okay? And my dissertation was about how we can make the recommender system more persuasive and credible, okay? For those of you who are not really familiar with the recommender system, it is a system that provide recommendation based on people's data. So I believe in Korea, 배달의 민족 is a really popular delivery apps. Okay, so when you search for a restaurant and the app actually recommend the list of the restaurant. Okay, and those are the recommender system. And my research was also focused on the recommender system and persuasive technology. And of course, I'm in public relation and communication department, so I'm interested in PR. My education background, I'm an alumna of the Kyunghee University, graduated long time.
Wow.
Yes. And I got my, but not hospitality area. And I also got my master's in New York Tech, focusing on public relation. After getting my master's degree, I worked as a PR specialist in one of the PR agencies, Corona Valley. That time, my client include Singapore Tourism Board and also the Qualcomm technology company. So that makes me interested in the tourism technology. So I decided to study more and pursued my PhD at Texas A&M University. My advisor is Uli Gretchen. I believe she was the keynote speaker for the first World Conference, okay, in smart tourism, right? I think Smart Tourism Center hosted this first World Conference about 2 weeks ago. Yes.
1 week ago.
1 week ago. Yeah, I actually attended through YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes.
Oh, it's an honor.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for hosting a wonderful conference. So yes, I got my PhD from Texas A&M University. Then I joined William Patterson University about 13 years ago as assistant professors, and now I become the full professor here. And a little background about my personal side. I'm a mom of college students. She's already sophomore in college. And also I'm not sure if the students love watching the musical, but I love musical. So I'm taking advantage of the living in New Jersey. So whenever I have a chance, I go to the New York City to watch musical. Okay. And what else? And a little bit, it seems MBTI is really hot in Korea. So I'm extrovert person, and ENFJ is my MBTI. So just a little bit of personal. As I said, I'm working at William Patterson University. This is a university located in New Jersey area, suburban New Jersey area, founded 1855. Okay, the time the Korea is a Joseon dynasty. Okay, and about 20 miles from the New York City, and one of the most diverse public university in New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, but unfortunately, there's no tourism and hospitality major. So I mean, communication.
Beautiful. Wow.
It is a beautiful campus in suburban area. Okay.
Wow.
And then I'm going to move on. Okay, then let's move on. Okay. Okay, so my introduction, and second part is trust in travel-related user-generated contents. I'm going to provide you with a comprehensive literature review of past research on trust in travel-related user-generated contents. Today's presentation is based on the chapter I contributed to the Handbook of E-Tourism. It was published in 2021. And I hope this review provides you a good overview of the finding in this area and helps you come up with some research ideas. Okay. But please note that since it was published 2 years ago, my presentation today is not going to include some of the most recent findings. Okay, then let's talk about the role of user-generated content in tourism. Okay. I would like to begin with a quick question. So what's some of the example of user-generated contents in tourism? You can unmute and speak, or if you prefer to just to share your answer on the chat, that's okay too. So can you name some of the user-generated contents in tourism?
Their presentation image with iconic, touristic building, and I posting into my Facebook.
Oh, yes, social media content. So when we visit a certain destination, we can post the social media contents. Okay.
Yes,
anything else? Clearly, these social media contents on Facebook, Instagram are very popular types of the user-generated contents. Anything else? Can you think, students? What kind of content you consume?
And YouTube.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah,
YouTube.
I consumed a lot the YouTube contents.
Yes, YouTube is definitely one of the key contents recently. Okay.
Yes.
So videos, YouTube contents. And, I have a very engaging one of the students here who says a PhD degree. Okay, so as Dr. Koo just mentioned, the social media content is definitely one of the key examples of the user-generated contents, but also the travel reviews, okay, on TripAdvisors, okay, and many online travel agencies. This is the image I posted to my Instagram a couple of years ago when I visited Bled, Slovenia. So this is, there's a communication conference that time. Beautiful, beautiful destination. So social media content. And I also searched Seoul on YouTube, and these are some of the search results. So the online videos and also recently podcasts, okay. Also, the short form videos are really popular. So these are some of the examples of user-generated contents. And then why this user-generated contents is important in tourism? You probably learn in tourism 101, okay. The product in tourism is intangible. Okay, this is experience product. Okay, so people cannot really feel and learn about the product unless they experience it. So this intangible characteristic of the tourism service make people to find more information online. And also this is high involvement product, which means it's not just about buying a pen. Okay? We need to commit time, energy, money. Okay, so usually the travelers put a lot of efforts to plan for their trip. And because of this is intangibilities and also high involvement product, the concern for trip planner and anxiety is high. And they are looking for the other people's experience. So those user-generated contents. And when we go to search engine and search it, okay, and this content is very search engine friendly. So often it pops up on the first page of the search engine result. So people can easy to use, easily accessible to travelers. And also a couple of studies mention that often travelers think this information from other travelers are more credible and trustworthy compared to the contents created by tourism destination or tourism organization, because we think, oh, okay, they are other travelers, so this experience is more authentic. That's why user-generated contents in tourism is an important topic. And indeed, the statistic published a couple of months ago indicate that these are one of the most talked topics online. Okay? Hospitality and tourism related topic is a popular topic in the United Kingdom. Okay? So many people share their experience online, okay? Especially their food experience and travel experience.
Dr. Yu,
yes.
last one question. Before I starting off Smart Tourism 2013, I saw your paper with Uli Gretchen, and I realized, oh, user-generated contents, which is most critical one in tourism field. Nonetheless, I created the Smart Tourism, and I defined the smart tourism should include information search. Is like a search for information and select information and choosing and making the decision, and then sharing the photo and idea and leave online leave, something like that. There is pretty much automation and pretty much information searching processing rather than user generated contents. Right after I'm reading your articles, and I adding another dimension to the smart tourism, which is create contents by DIY, user generated content, doing yourself, which is most inspire other people to come to the same destination, because it's inspired my desire and motivations. I wish, I want, I should, something like that. So actually your work with Uli Grecha is inspire me to do the extension of smart tourism beyond information processing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
you for sharing. Yes, it is an honor that my study actually cited you, and then also that inspires you to come up with a smart tourism concept. I think that's a perfect timing you ask that question, because I actually want to talk about user-generated content in smart tourism. Okay. So when I published most of the work, that time was the social media is not really popular, and most of us, we just call it as a e-tourism or online tourism. But Dr. Koo and Dr. Chung, okay, came up with the idea of the smart tourism. And they also, with Uli Gretschel, Dr. Koo and Gretschel and their colleague, conceptualize and visualize smart tourism ecosystem. Okay, and they explain that touristic consumers, okay, in this ecosystem, okay, act like producer. And TC, this is, yes, I'm going to highlight. Can you see it? And they visualize it, and they said that these touristic consumers act like producers, and also residential consumer, RC, consume and produce data. Okay, so they are not just to message receiver, they also actively create content in this ecosystem, and they are playing very important role. So user-generated content is a key part of the smart tourism system. Okay, so that is just a quick overview of the role of user-generated content before talking about the past studies. As we just discussed, user-generated contents play a very important role in tourism planning and also smart tourism context. Okay, then second topic I want to talk about is trust. Okay. Then why this matters, why we should talk about the trust? Because I said earlier, past studies actually found that people perceive user-generated content as more credible and trustworthy than other contents. Okay. Then why suddenly this Dr. Yu talks about the trust in user-generated contents? This issue is become more important because of rise of fake and fake account. Okay, because of the popularity of the social medias. Okay, there's so many fake accounts and undisclosed sponsored online contents, which make travelers and trip planners questions about the trustworthiness of user-generated contents today. And indeed, recent studies that published in 2022, okay, and found that the level of trust in social media platform declined in just 1 year. This is a year-over-year comparison compared to the 2021. More people's believe, oh no, social media is not really the platform that we can trust. You can see Instagram saw the most significant decline in the index score, followed by LinkedIn and Reddit. So it's important to understand the trust in user-generated content. Then what is a trust and what is a strategy people use in evaluating trustworthiness of user-generated contents? Okay. There's a different types of the trust and different strategy people use. Okay. So before explaining each one, I'll give you about about 30 seconds to review this and guess what is these different types of the trust. Okay, so what is knowledge-based trust? How about institution-based trust? Calculative-based trust? Cognition, personality, cue-based trust? From the names, I think we can kind of guess. Okay, so what's the strategies you guys use? Knowledge-based trust. Anyone wants to try? Anyone wants to guess? So what is knowledge-based trust?
Knowledge is it's a it's kind of a common sense or is a kind of a I learned from books and I got my knowledge about something. That judgment come from that prior study and sort of thing. So I can make judges based on my own accumulated knowledge so far, and I can trust it or not.
Yes.
Something like that.
Good. Yes. Good try. Good try. Thank you, Dr. Ku.
It could be culture-based trust, but I can't see it in the types.
Okay.
But culture-based trust.
Okay. Yes. Okay, everyone. We can actually say so. Knowledge-based. I think a good point. Knowledge-based trust is the trust based on the belief that trustee, which is source of the, so if it is user-generated content, if the source has knowledge and expertise. So for example, if Dr. Cruz talks about smart tourism, my trust level is high, because I do believe he knows the concept. He has a knowledge and expertise. But sometimes we can build and form trust based on the institution. The trustee, which is a source, is a part of. So I do trust the participants of these seminars are all high achieving students because you are the graduate students in a prestige school, Kyunghee University Hospitality Program. So I never met you, but I have experience with Kyunghee University and know the reputation of the institution. So I build the trust that way. Okay.
How about the brand?
Yes.
Is there a similar one? Institution-based trust brand?
Yes. So based on the brand, we do just believe it. Okay. And calculated based trust is we build the trust based on the assessment of potential costs and benefits of the trustee, which is the source. Okay. If it is not sponsored content, okay, then our trust level is high. Okay, because social media influencer, they review a little clicker, okay, or destination, but it is not sponsored. Okay, in Korean they call it 내돈 내산. So that actually you calculate, okay, if there is any potential cost and benefit, and you trust it. And also cognitive, you evaluate the source, have any similar value and belief, and then evaluate the trust. And sometimes we see the personality of the source, okay? And if the trustee's personality traits is trustworthy, then my trust level is high. But in online, okay, we cannot really see this. So in online setting, especially user-generated content setting, we often use cue-based trust, which means we use all those subtle cues, okay, profile pictures, okay, and contents to try to find little cues to evaluate this user-generated content, if this source for content is trustworthy or not. Okay.
How about this one? A cue-based trust. Sometimes, when I look for a restaurant, and the restaurant is attached to the TripAdvisor recommendation, a symbolic, image, or something like what is that? Another one, that kind of the trust mark. So is that cue-based trust?
So when you see the restaurant reviews, you see which cues, the rating?
And actually, I walking down the street, I want to go to a certain restaurant, but which I don't know very well. But the restaurant is attached the TripAdvisor recommendation, image into the wall, and I saw it. Oh, probably it's a good restaurant.
Yes. I think that's also the mix of cue-based on also institution-based trust.
I see.
Because we have trust in TripAdvisor. So these
like
are
Michelin.
Yes.
And also it could be intuitive-based trust, Professor.
Intuitive? Wow.
Intuitive-based trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. So the past studies named the different types of the trust based on the strategies people's use, but in travel-related user-generated context, the initial trust formation is critical because online users are likely to interact with individuals they have never met before and need to decide whether to follow their suggestion or not. Okay? So that's why these first three trust strategy built based on the experience and require certain time period. But these are more initial trust building people's user strategy. But in realities, like Dr. Ko asked the question about when I passed by the restaurant, I saw the TripAdvisor logo, okay? And then my trust level increased which means you use that cues, but also you have a trust that built with the TripAdvisor, right?
Yes.
So in reality, we don't make judgment based on just one type. Okay. These types of trust are not mutually exclusive. Okay? So we use a different combination of knowledge-based or institution-based trust. Okay, so this is just to give you an ideas of what is the issue of the trust in user-generated content. Okay, and I'm going to move to antecedents of trust in travel-related user-generated contents. My presentation speed is okay, or am I too
very good.
Okay, good. Everyone is following. Yeah.
Wonderful English accent. It's very easy to understand.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
For me.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I've been living in the US for a long time. So okay. So antecedents of trust in travel-related user-generated content. So talks basically it means, so what is the factors? What makes us to believe these certain contents? Okay. There are different factors work together. But I want to ask you this one question. Okay. There are 2 reviews. These are the reviews from TripAdvisors. I found they visited Myeongdong and wrote this review. Reviewer 1, okay, talks about they can find many Chinese people on the street, and I could see Chinese food, and they are very crowded. So I'm going to go there with my friends. Okay. And I'm very happy and very interesting and happy. Okay. Give a pretty good review. So reviewer 1. Okay. And posted in 2019. And reviewer 2, okay, also gave good review to Myeongdong. Okay. And talks about the outdoor attraction in South Korea. And they provide a number of different photos and talks about famous street food. So these are the reviews I can find on TripAdvisor. But which one do you trust and why? I'll give you a couple minutes so you can unmute and say, or no, instead of saying it, because I don't want you to influence other students, can you put the number and the reasons to the chat box so we can discuss it? So which one do you trust and why?
More lengthy.
Reading it and deciding it, and I'm going to have a water break.
And what is in detail? What else?
So I can see some of the chat coming up. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. And what else?
Yes.
And
I'm going to wait just one more minute.
And what is like one? What is this?
Okay. Right. So it's coming. So I'm going to put this chat box to here so we can see. You can still contribute. You can still type, and then if you don't want to explain the reason, you can just put the number, okay, which reviews you prefer. Okay. Can you see the chat? I just moved to screen. Yes, this is a chat result. Okay. So Dr. Ku's student said number 2. Okay. And Park Sung-bin students, reviewer 2 because of the picture, okay? So visual image make the students believe the reviewer 2 is more trustworthy. And Dr. Koo also said lengthy, okay, and more lengthy detail, provide more detail and more up-to-date, okay, reviews, okay, and I think pretty much everyone voted for number 2, okay, second reviews, it provides many photos, already 2 of you said photos matters, and pictures, recent one, up-to-date, okay, because new posts compared to number 1. And also pictures, evidence-based, okay. And Dr. Koo actually noticed, okay, there's 1 likes, okay, there. So that's another reason we believe that and have very cognitive explanation and effective image. So it provides not just a cognitive explanation, but the image supports that. Okay. Diverse evidence, second one, attraction city might be changed, yes. Okay, intuitive, more contribution. Oh, good points, Maria, Evelyn, okay, and said that contribution number. So she noticed, okay, oh, good number of, okay, create. So contributions makes these students believe the reviewer 2 is more trustworthy source. Okay, contribution number, picture supporting. Okay, address, Serbia. Okay, Serbia. Okay, address. Okay, so provide actually their source information. This person no information, right? No profile information. But these reviewer 2s provide the location information. Okay. Very good. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. So I'm asking this question because as we can see, we use different cues to evaluate the reviewers or the user-generated contents. So what cues did you use? Many of you said, okay, reviewer contents. Okay, did you read the contents? Yes. Okay, many of you said, oh, it is very detailed. Okay, and reviewer information, number of contribution. How about the recency? Okay, more updated, more up-to-date reviews, and number of likes the reviewer received. Okay. So those are cues. These are the all cues available. Okay, when we evaluate the user-generated content. So the travelers do not simply accept all online user-generated contents. Rather, they decide, okay, trustworthiness. They assess it of the online information using different cues that are available in online communication process and also environment. So in communication field, we evaluate those factors following communication model. So then what factors indeed works in communication model? In communication model, we evaluate the trustworthiness of the source. So you just evaluate the reviewers, the source, okay? And also you evaluate the message, which is the contents, okay, of the reviews. And you didn't evaluate the channel, okay, but it was from TripAdvisor, okay. But if it was from different channels, that also influence on our evaluation. And also receivers, our personality or our knowledge level, okay, our attentions, all those factors also influence in evaluating trust and also context, okay, some contextual cues. So we do this communication process every day. Okay, this is a seminar. I'm the source here, and you are the receivers. You're probably evaluating my trust level, okay, based on the message I'm delivering, or those cues, okay, my tone, voice, and also, she has a PhD. She said she's a full-time professor, so I'll trust her. Okay, those are all source cues. Okay? And also channels. We are delivering this through the Zoom. Okay, these contexts also influence on. Probably some of you are in your place. We are in not the same place. So those contextual cues influence on your evaluation. Maybe more interruptions in the Zoom seminar. Okay. So in the following slide, okay, based on this framework, we are going to discuss about some antecedents of the trust in tourism, user-generated contents, based on these five categories. So I'm going to talk about then what are some of the source factors past studies found in terms of travel, user-generated content. What are the message factors? How about channel, receiver, or contact factors? So we will discuss those specific factors that have been found to be influential in forming trust in travel-related user-generated content in the tourism literature. Okay, so let's find out. So what other scholars found about these cues, source factors. Okay? I think we can guess when we evaluate social media influencer or the user-generated contents, we do see the source. From the example, Dr. Koo mentioned that he trusts reviewer number 2 because the reviewer provide their address, location information, right? So that's a source cues. And many studies said that source credibility is an important factor. Okay, those source credibilities in user-generated contents context is number of reviews posted by reviewers. Yes, I found a couple of students said, I do trust reviewer number 2 because the reviewers contributed more number of reviews. Okay, so has some expertise there. So that increase the level of the perception of the credibility. Okay, and also number of helpful vote received. Okay, reviewer number 2 received 1 like. Okay, so that actually matters, and also number of destination visited. Okay, so source credibility. And sometimes, we also see if the source is similar to me. Okay, my age, or maybe similar interest. Okay, so that's why TripAdvisor provide information about single or family. Okay. So for if my trip is a family trips, I trust those reviews or contents created by family travelers. But if I'm young, and single, then my trust level for those similar solo travelers is higher. So source similarity is another important factors in deciding or evaluating the trustworthiness of user-generated contents.
Dr. Yu, how about this similarity? Like this similarity, like your example, the second reviewer, the guy is from Serbia, but for me, this guy is coming from very far from country, Serbia, which is very unfamiliar destination, the country, and then probably people, this is something diversity or something unfamiliar, something is from Western. So probably like more this similarity than there's some people coming from the Asia same region. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's very important point. Thank you, Dr. Kru, for asking question. In travel context, these similarities in many studies found that it is actually decrease the level of the trust. But if you think, sometimes we are seeking different experience, right? So we want to read reviews from not just a similar source, but from someone who has a new perspective, okay? So in travel context, it depends on travel destination or it depends on the product you are looking for. These impacts could be different, okay? Not people always find the similar sources.
Yes.
Sometimes if you are too similar, okay, and there's a study that decreased the credibility.
Okay.
Because I know too much about the professor's life. Okay, so you know that sometimes influence when I evaluate the credibility, right? So like these graduate students, okay, outside of the graduate schools, people think, oh my God, they are PhD students or master students. They must be very smart and high achieving students. But sometimes because I know so much about it, okay, they could decrease trustworthiness.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. And also disclosing identity is important, okay? So you selected reviewer 2 because reviewer 2 provide more profile information. Having the profile pictures matter, okay? And authenticity is a big thing recently because of the rise of the fake information. So people evaluate if this is a real reviews or not. Okay, and social ties in social media context. Okay, if the person, the source is my friends. Okay, then the trust level is higher. And there's some study that talks about demographic characteristic can also influence on the trustworthiness of the user-generated contents. Okay, so these are some of the source factors that have been examined in past study in tourism or literature. And how about the message factors? Okay. So the message factors when we evaluate, of course, information and argument quality, okay? Many of you said pictures matter, okay? So the quality of the information is important, okay? But in terms of the message balance, there's findings are very contrasting, okay? And some people said that more critical or negative reviews perceived as more credible. But some studies found that, oh no, positive reviews lead to greater initial trust, okay? But also there's a studies found that extreme rating is found, many people found as more useful than moderate reviews. So message balance, still no clear direction, but it influence on the people's evaluation of the trustworthiness of the user-generated contents. And message should be message length and readability. I think Dr. Cruz said, oh, reviewer 2 is more lengthy, more information. So that's why I trust reviewer 2. Okay. Generally, past study found that more longer and easy to read review to be more trustworthy. But we are discussing about this changing environment, changing online environment later when we talk about the future study opportunity. But is it still true? Do we still more trust the longer contents? Because think about it, short form videos, right? Think about how you consume the contents. Okay, maybe it was true a couple of years ago, but maybe it's different. Okay? Content aesthetic. When I searched TripAdvisor, I found that there is a category, Instagram friendly location in Seoul. Okay, because of the Instagram, this visual aesthetic. Okay, it's getting more important factors, important message factors, photos, storytelling skill, make the readers more can enjoy the contents is important. So that is message factors that found in past studies. Okay, then I'm going to move channel factors. The website type, reputation matters. Okay, when you see the contents from TripAdvisors or well-known website, then you already have a certain level of the trust in the content. Website quality matters. Okay, and a couple of past studies actually use technology acceptance model. I believe many of you know the theory. Okay. Very popular, cited by many studies, 10 models, and use and evaluate the website quality, how that influence on people's evaluation of the trust. Creating social presence is important. And with website interface design is important. Those are some of the channel factors. Okay. Before discussing the receiver factor, any question? Everyone is.
Oh, I have a lot of questions. I have many.
Okay, later. So you are saving question for later. Great. Okay. And receivers. Message receivers also have their own characteristic influence on this trust evaluation. Okay. Level of involvement is important. Not sure if you are familiar with elaboration likelihood model, famous communication and persuasion model. It explains these message receivers' level of involvement influence on how they evaluate those information. Okay, so past study found that highly involved travelers adopt both central and peripheral routes, which means they are using all available information. Okay, so for the MBTI, I guess J person, because I know that's really hard. MBTI is really hard in Korea. So I'm the one who always wants to plan everything. Okay, and I'm very highly involved person, especially in trip planning. Okay. My husband is totally opposite. Okay, so he doesn't plan anything. Okay, but I'm highly involved person, so I'm going to read every reviews. Okay, evaluating those cues. Okay, so I'm the one. My factors really my personality and my level of involvement influence on when I evaluate those user-generated contents. Okay? And individuals, technology experience, okay, and enjoyment. Okay, if they feel like, oh, this is fun, especially the online videos, short form videos, okay, that is a determinant of the trustworthiness of user-generated contents. And some of the other characteristics, their demographic, their motives, and also their past travel experience also influence when they evaluate the contents. When you evaluate the user-generated contents of two examples, I believe most of you already visited Myeongdong, right? So we have ideas, okay, of the Myeongdong, our travel experience. So when we evaluate the first reviews, it's not really the Myeongdong experience, okay? Maybe there's more these first reviewers could share. So that's why your receiver factor could influence on when your evaluation of those two reviews. Okay, so those are reviewer factors, and lastly, last category is a contextual factors. Okay, still limited study in this area. Okay, but some studies said that bandwagon effect. Those okay, I like this review. I found that this review is useful. Okay, yes, that's some of the contextual factors. And also, if there's a negative reviews and the source respond to those reviews, like big brands, okay, hotel reviews, people's write the negative reviews, but when hotels responded, and people's more likely believe this is the real reviews and the brand really care about this. Okay, So this is the summary of what I just reviewed. Okay, the cues we just reviewed, and this is some of the cues identified in the past studies. Okay, so that's the antecedents of trust in travel-related user-generated contents. Okay, okay. So we covered what's the role of user-generated content, the trust issues, and what is the factors that make people to believe the travel-related user-generated contents. Now, okay, so I do trust this. So what is the consequences? Why this matters? What is the next step?
For you, before we go to the consequence of trust, I have a question about, your study about trust is about 10 years ago, 2010, which is quite a long time ago.
Yes.
But still very valuable for the researchers who can refer to your papers. But as a researcher and as a writer, we need something to develop further based on your reference. So these days we have an AI era, and the AI comes to our life, and AI recommend us, and AI even write message or review message into the social media contents. So I think we need AI applied into your the reference, and we have to check it out how the online review and user generated are now changing from that human environment to the robotic environment or AI environment. So my question is still those three contexts, like message, messenger, and source, and the context and reviews for different contexts still is valid for AI context.
When humans interact with the technologies, yes, I think it's still valid. But that's actually one of the things I want to discuss with the students later. But my big question was AI. Can we, if AI generate content based on those user-generated data there, because AI use those information to generate recommendation, can we consider as a user-generated content? Or is it something created by technology? So it's not user-generated content. So that's a big definition question. Okay. And second part, you mentioned those the 5 vectors I just covered, the source, message, channel, receiver factors are still valid, and we can still apply it to understand our interaction with AI and technology. Yes, okay. I believe so. Maybe there's a different opinion, but from it was a long time ago, 1996, in those, I think, psychology scholars or communication scholars, they came up with the idea of the media equation theory. So their idea is those rules we apply when interact with humans. Okay, so I'm actually communicating with the students and Dr. Ku here, and those rules apply when we interact with the technology. So they call it as a media equation theory. So have you ever yelled to your phone? Have you ever called Siri or those technologies stupid? Okay, and sometimes the laptop is so slow. Then I'm upset, and I'm like, my reaction is like very similar to the reaction to human. Okay? So when we interact with the technologies, we sometimes apply the rules we learned. Okay? So that's why when humans evaluate those technology, I think those theories or the the rules found in offline setting and human interaction setting can still be applied to understand and human and technology interaction.
Mhm.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. So I think we need a frame, research frame, from a theoretical frame, and I'm now trying to apply. I'm trying to apply the AI into your past, research frame. Like you are categorized now and classified for us, which is very effective to understand. And now is AI period, AI era. So I try to investigate on how the role of AI in social media in the user generate, and whether it's good, positive consequence or negative consequence. So some of people who believe AI is a good thing, AI is intelligent or whatever, people tend to believe further positively. AI environment is more effective to the user generate contents. But people are cautious or concerned about the AI aspect, and AI, is too much. AI is a fake. AI is something, something automatic, response sort of things. People negatively who think, then they probably don't trust the user generated content. If we adding the AI mark into the kind of
I think that's a receiver factor, right?
Yes,
because receivers have that belief that technology is not a good thing.
But however, the AI is provide very well organized information, cognitive information, really in detail, very well organized, well informed to consumers. So consumers are when they see those recommendation and contents, wow, it's too detailed, too well informed, and is trustful. Even the AI mark over there.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Dr. Gu. I'm glad to hear that you found today's presentation is helpful to develop your study.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, and also, yes, AI is really the promising area. And as you mentioned, I'm talking about this user-generated content that is a Web 2.0. We call it Web 2.0, okay, is participation, okay, web, okay, and co-creation web. Okay, but we are now moving, and actually we are already Web 3.0. Okay, so not other users create the contents, but technology create the contents now. Okay, so we are now interacting with the technology, AI technology. Then what is the cues the people's going to use to evaluate the credibility of those contents and also source? Okay. Are we going to just believe it because it's AI, artificial intelligence, okay?
Yes.
Or are we going to apply those source factors I just mentioned, and then we are still evaluating? Okay. So that is, I think, big questions, and that is something Dr. Ku and these amazing graduate students, our future scholars, are going to investigate. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. That's a good research idea, actually. I suggest to our students, cracking down that, new era.
Yes, definitely. You should do it the new era. And sometimes you might question yourself, oh, I don't know much about it. I had that we call it as an imposter syndrome. So you question yourself, but no, you are the one who knows that area. I didn't know when I was a PhD student. I didn't know when I was a master student. I always questions about my knowledge and my ability. But I believe you knows better, maybe than me, or maybe Dr. Ku, okay? Because you have experience in this technology and you've been grown with this technology.
Absolutely, they understand better about the situation and reality and the phenomena, but they don't have knowledge of a theoretical framework, how to investigate on the academic way.
Yes.
Yes, they need us.
Yes. What is a scientific method they can use to answer their research question? Okay. Yeah. And I believe you are in good hands. Okay. Dr. Cruz is here to help you. Okay. To answer the research question. Okay. So let's back to our presentation. So once they trust, of course, the consequence is accepting the recommendation. Sometimes the trust helps them to encourage them to contribute contents because they enjoy the contents, so they more likely contribute the contents. And there are tons of studies that said that indeed when they trust it, their attitude and behavior intentions changes. Okay. So here's just a quick the visual models of drawing from the findings of previous study. These figures present the main contributing factors for trust in user-generated contents and what is the consequences of it. Okay, but these are only those that investigate in past research. Of course, there's unidentified factors. Okay. And there's still the many questions need to be further investigated. So we are going to move part 3. Okay. So I just provide a quick review of trust in user-generated content and part 3. So what I found, okay, from reviewing all those studies when I wrote this book chapter for Handbook of E-Tourism, and what is the possible future studies? I think we mentioned a couple of ideas already, so while these findings provide good understanding and extend our understanding of trust in travel-related user-generated content, still there is many questions are not answered. So in the following part, in part 3, I'm going to discuss about those remaining questions. So hopefully those remaining questions help you to come up with your own research ideas. If you are interested in this area, social media contents or user-generated contents. I found that there's one comment here in the chat box. There are so many user-generated contents all over the world. So I'm curious about, okay, so I'm going to move here. I'm curious about how much and how long a single piece of user-generated content has impact on individuals' memories, connecting to their behavior intention. I believe the value of a single piece of user-generated contents might be decreased by increasing the overall volume, of which means the user-generated content is but just the contents that trigger momentary enjoyment or stimulate individuals' feeling, not causing actual behavior. I think that's a very insightful comment. Yes, okay. Now, not everyone read individuals' comments and that actually influence on individuals' behavior, okay? Because of the volume. Most websites shows this is average rating, okay? And these are some of the keywords mentioned by travelers, okay? So because of this volume, okay, of the big data and those contents also make differences, and that changes how people evaluate trustworthiness and how those user-generated contents influence on their attitude and behavior intention. I think this is a very insightful point. Thank you, Songbin, for sharing your thoughts with us.
It's a good student.
Yes, I believe everyone is a good student, right? They are high achieving academically.
I wish our student to be like you someday.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, I've been in this higher education for a long time, right? So they are just still graduate students. So okay. So the first theories. Okay, many theories are used in past studies, okay, but still there are many other theories that developed to understand trust in the offline setting, okay, and those can be applied to e-tourism and smart tourism field, okay, to understand how people's behavior and perception. So if you learn any new theory, maybe you can ask yourself, can I apply this to understand it? Okay, so you can definitely apply those theories. Okay. Second, we discussed a number of different factors, but the Songbin mentioned, no, this single piece of the reviews is not really matters, okay? And this volume is important. Yes, okay, that's actually emerging changes, but there's many other, okay, unidentified cues and consequences. Past study shows that naturally people's more focus on source and message. Okay, they evaluate the source and message, but there's still limited studies about channel factors, receiver factor, and contextual factors. So that's something you can consider for your future study. And most studies also conducted in Western countries. Okay. Many published studies in Western country which limit understanding of cultural-based differences. Okay, so your studies, and if there's any intercultural difference, that would be also interesting in terms of evaluating trust of user-generated contents. Yes, and as I mentioned, some of the influential cues identified in traditional trust studies have not been tested in online context. Okay, so that's another approach you can use when you come up with your research approach. Okay, the third, okay. And past studies is very fragmented finding, which means they focus on source, they focus on this cues. But we talks about smart tourism ecosystem, okay? And in reality, we are not just evaluating one factor, okay? I mean, that's a limitation of the scientific studies. When you design experiment, you need to control other factors to see if these factors cause these consequences. But more comprehensive research that tests interrelated influence of various factors is needed. Okay, so maybe you can review those studies and think to include some of the cues and tests if there is any interaction, impact, any correlations, more interrelated influence can be tested. So that's the third remaining question.
Like back to you, like we are, as you stated already, the popular application 배달의 민족 in Korea and in Uber Eats in US and Yelp in US, those are like platform business applications. Mm-hmm. And platform business application, actually, there are 3 or 4 the environment, like guest host, I mean restaurant host, and the consumer and platform and rider. There's 4 different, the participants, mm-hmm. And they are also influenced by the consumers' reviews and restaurant yes. respondent and delivery, sort of things. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a very highly time to investigate those kind of platform and ecosystems, mm-hmm. and based on the online review, mm-hmm. or like a platform stress, mm-hmm. they are very stressful for each other among mm-hmm. others because of this, reviews, ecosystems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
The good things is that they can get the benefit from this kind of a very well-known the platform application. Bad thing is data ownership problem and quick continuously, push, mm-hmm. and so it's a good side, bad side that is happening at the same time in these days.
Yep, I think that's a great point. Because of these reviews is so important for small business owner. Okay, mm-hmm. And then I found that they use a different, the strategies, give free food if you write the positive reviews. Okay? So then make people's questions about this authenticity of the reviews.
Right.
Yes, because I had the experience when I visited Korea. I ordered food in one of the restaurants using this 배달의 민족, which is a delivery apps popular in Korea. And these restaurants owners actually asked me to write the positive reviews. Then they want to provide this free dessert or something. Okay? So yeah, free dessert, why not? So I wrote positive reviews, but my experience was okay. But those, because of this user-generated contents and those reviews become so important in people's decision-making. People use the different strategies and they make the people's questions about this authenticity of the user-generated contents.
Yes.
Okay. And we just discussed about this changing technology, so emerging factors and consequences. So those studies I reviewed is the findings probably true that time, but we are in changing time. Okay, we just discussed about artificial intelligence and augmented realities, filters, and so become more creative in terms of their message. And sometimes they never visit a destination, but they can create the photos using those graphic and technology. And these short form videos I mentioned earlier, some studies said lengthy and detailed reviews is more credible. Okay, but do we really read all those in detail? Because you read it because I asked you to read it, okay? In presentation. But maybe depends on the personality. I'm the one who read the reviews, okay? But sometimes we are just consuming those short form contents, okay, online because of the information overload. So these change. Okay, and also mobile technology. Okay, when I began my PhD, okay, that was the time I did a paper-based survey. So I forwarded more than 1,000 survey when I was a PhD student. So that time, those user-generated contents impact was pretty much focused on before trip, which means trip planning period. But because of the mobile technology, now many of us making decision at the destination, right? We are making decision, especially about the restaurant, okay, at the destination. And then do we really read the review? Like the comments of one of the students today, okay, we not read individual reviews, but just to quickly scan it and see the overall rating. Okay, so this evaluating the contents, this strategy or these past findings maybe not valid anymore. Okay, so this make new source, message, and channel factors in the future studies. Okay, seems I end a little earlier, but I think that's all for my presentation. So thank you, everyone. So we are going to have a Q&A time. And if you want to connect me, this is my LinkedIn page, okay? You can scan it and you can follow me, or you can ask the friends request. More than happy to be your friends, okay? Any questions about your future careers, okay? Because my career path is a little different from Dr. Koo and other professors probably presented at this Convergence seminar, okay? So any question is okay. And if you plan to visit New York City, okay, I'm just 30 minutes away from New York City, okay? So this is my contact information.
Okay.
Okay, so
anyway,
to...
you're in around New York. How's it New York? It's quite a long time to visit there.
Okay, I'm going to stop share. So you can see everyone.
Okay.
The New York, Well, I'm living here, but when I moved here first, I visited pretty often, but not anymore. But my brother lives in New York, so sometimes I visit there. He lives in Brooklyn, so I visit there and to attend, because I'm in public relations field now. So I sometimes visit New York to attend industry conference.
Okay.
So I visited because there's a bus from our place to New York. So I usually take a bus to get there. Okay. But one of the advantages in living nearby New York City is there's many industry conference, especially in communication field. Okay. So that way I can engage and network with a professional in the field.
So you sometimes come and go Korea and New York. So there must be pros and cons each country, each side. So what is good things Korea? What is bad things Korea? What is good things yes? What is bad things yes?
Okay. Yes, I found that there's one question. So after Max, I'm going to answer your question after answering the Professor Ku's question. Good thing about Korea, food. Okay.
Food?
I love Korean food. And fun place, Korea. Okay. Whenever I visit Korea, there's always changes. Okay.
Changing.
Yeah, there's changing. The trend is changing. So I love it. And what else? And my family.
Okay.
And my mom is in Korea, so I visit often. Okay, and my relatives still live there. And also as a higher education professors, I envy the professors and educator in Korea because they have a wonderful students. Okay.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they have a wonderful students. The Korean students are smart and they are very diligent, responsible students. So that's, I think, a good thing about Korea. And bad thing, lack of diversity. Okay, because I'm teaching in this university, and I have very, the diversity of our university is amazing. I have students from not many international students, but they are mostly from New Jersey. But their background, their cultural background is very diverse. I have students whose background in Hispanic culture, but at the same time African American culture. I had a students from Saudi Arabia. I also had students from Mexico and other areas. Okay. And also students, just to live the entire life in New Jersey. So that diversities, from the diversity, I learned a lot, and they really open my perspective of how I see people and how I evaluate the people's perspective. But when I visit Korea, I found that people often make comments on their own standard. Okay. So for example, the appearance, fashion, okay. And they often make comments without thinking because they believe there's a right rule. This is the right standard. This is wrong. There's always right and wrong. But that's just different. Okay, that's just a difference. So that's I think not bad thing, but I think that's the things the Koreans can learn better, because I can see some diversity from this audience. So I believe students in this group, when they interact with the students, international students, they probably learn the differences. So I think that's something that Koreans can improve. So that's my thoughts. Okay.
These days, Korea, in our school, we are increasing diversity from the European region, and then also Chinese, and also the Australia. So it's better for us to understand the diversity.
Yes.
But still lack of diversity. That's the truth.
But that's also fun because Korea, we are similar. So that's fun.
Yes.
Sometimes,
yes.
yeah, that's fun sometimes. But I think DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion is a big word in many American university and organization. Okay. So diversity is not just a diversity, but we should have an equal treatment, and we should include inclusion. So DEI is one of the big things.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So Max asked a question. Professor Yu, can you show us again the message vector slide? I want to mark down some references. Thank you. Max, I'll make sure to share that with Dr. Koo so you can have it. Okay. Instead of showing the message vector slide, I can actually send those references. Okay. Dr. Koo can email you.
Okay, Doctor, you allowed me to use your material. I want to use that material to our students, which is very well made.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, but it's a little, a little outdated because it was published in 2 years ago. Yes.
I can update it with my mouse.
Yes, so you can definitely include some of the recent findings because I wanted to incorporate those recent findings, but it's the middle of the semester, so I just didn't have a chance yet. So I created using the chapters I contributed about 3 to 4 years ago. So those recent findings are not in there. Okay. And Songbin said, no. Asking question, it never bothered me. So thank you for asking me the question. And he said, I apologize for bothering, but it's unrelated topic to user-generated content. But since you mentioned about smart tourism several times today, there's something I'd like to ask. Is it possible? Yes, of course. I'm not an expert of smart tourism, but we have an expert here, Dr. Koo. So what's the question, Songbin?
Okay, other students, while he noted, other students, please feel free to ask her.
Yeah, feel free to ask the question. But Songbin just posted question. The first one, what's the criteria for defining a city as a smart in Korea? The number of existing devices adopted technology, or the rate of usage of smart devices in the city. As far as I know, UK is evaluated based on accessibility, sustainability, digitization, cultural history, and creativity. Okay, I think you know better than me. Thank you for the question. And there's another question. But I don't think I'm the qualified person to answer that question. I understand the smart tourism, but we have an expert here. Dr. Koo is the one who came up with the concept of the smart tourism. So he can definitely answer your question. But as far as my understanding is, the smart tourism is using all those available technologies, right? And those are interrelated and connected to each other that influence on travelers' decision. And the Seoul is a smart city because people can use all those smart devices to find the information, learn about the attractions, okay? But I'm not sure about the definition, okay? Maybe Dr. Koo answer the first questions. Dr. Koo, can you maybe explain what makes a smart city?
There's actually smart cities, they providing city for residents. And the concept of a smart city, likely, city supported by the IT infrastructure and sort of things. And then people feel convenient, accessible, and definitely the final goal of the smart city is achieve the quality of life. But I made a smart tourism city, the concept, because I realized smart tourism should be conducted in smart city. So smart city and smart tourism should be converged into one concept, smart tourism cities, which is residents and visitors and sharing the urban city resource at the same time. So there is no such restriction, or so we should make that region below. Below means is the outside and inside they can mutually use the resource in city. So, however, the purpose of the smart tourism is fun while they staying here, but the smart city is a quality of life. But anyway, I think those kind of concept is a very broad and grand thing. I think it's like today's online review and the user-generated contents is definitely a fundamental pillar of smart tourism, and is most powerful the research area. And I encapsulated that the UGC into smart tourism, but I renamed smart tourism and rather than using UGC, because UGC is a generic term, and generic term is not so fascinating to our area. I bring that UGC, the concept, into the smart tourism, and I made it as one pillar of the smart tourism. And we have to conduct research. So the research is actually is good for you, is you define or redefine or redeveloped based on your work. It's not a text or a textbook in school. So that's why the research is so creative work, and then
and also I'm not an expert in this area, but Dr. Kru came up with the ideas, and he conceptualized idea. But as we discussed, the technology is changing, okay, and it's evolving every moment. So the definitions they publish it can be always revisited, okay, with understanding of this new technology. So as a future scholars, maybe Park Sung-bin students, you can redefine what is a smart city, okay, and what makes the city smart. Okay?
All right.
Yes.
That's right.
For second question, you said, do you think a city over the world is adopting smart technology most rapidly in tourism and hospitality industry? I don't know, but I believe the Seoul is one of definitely the smart city, okay, in terms of the information communication technology. It's amazing how Seoul use those technologies to engage the travelers and make it more accessible, okay? And New York, yes, but I don't know if there's any published articles about it, okay? Because this smart city or smart tourism is also a new concept. So I don't think there's a study that evaluate and assess all cities in the world, okay, and rank, okay, this is the #1 smart city, #2. I don't think there's no industry report and no studies, okay. But there's many cities trying to be more technology accessible and make it more easier for the travelers to know the destination, okay, and share their experience with other travelers. Hope that answered your question. Sorry that that's not my expert area, okay, but that's just a guess from what I learned. Okay. Any other question?
Okay, Steven?
We have one more comment. Thanks for your answer. No problem. Thank you for your question. Okay. That's very thoughtful questions.
Okay, Let me point it very clearly. Sierra, Min, you have a question? I think so.
So no pressure, but if you have a question,
oh,
feel free to ask.
it's not a pressure, it's a suggestion.
Okay.
It's a suggestion.
Okay. So thank you, Professor. You have give us a very great presentation, very good lecture, and helps me a lot. And actually, I have a question. Really, yeah. So just now you have mentioned that as a traveler, we have a lot of cues when we have a lot of cues to use to evaluate UGC. Maybe from the content, information, or the date of the review, number of likes, something like that. But I think from the perspective, if we want to do research, on this aspect, and we want to collect some related contents from UGC, and I want to ask that, what is there a criteria for us to select the contents of the UGC, or just we can keep the same rules as the travelers to choose the cues to evaluate UGC? That's my question. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. I think that's a great question. But I think Dr. Koo also has an insight to share. But my thought is it depends on your research goal. Okay. If you want to test the cause of certain cues, okay, then experiment is the right way, because test the causality. Okay, so you can control other factors. So you can really see which factors influence on which dependent variable. Okay. However, all experiment has a limitation. Okay, it's not really represented the reality. But we do, as a scientific researcher, with the experiment because we want to test it in experiment condition. Okay. But as a practitioner, if you want to provide more practical implication, then you can create more realistic situation, and maybe you can do the survey, or you can do the content analysis, or if you understand more in-depth understanding, you can collect qualitative data like interviews, okay, with travelers, okay. But you need to ask yourself if that's the area you are interested in. The researchers need to ask the questions. So what is my goal here? Okay, what I want to find out. If I want to provide more practical and applied implication to practitioner, then you can go with a more realistic situation, okay, and provide the implication to practitioner. But if my goal is, no, I want to publish in the top journal, okay, and then your method is important, okay, and also data is important, okay. And I know as a graduate student, the publication matters, okay. Then you might need to think what is the way, okay, to achieve your goals. And also my suggestion is, as Dr. Koo mentioned earlier, you need to look at what is the hot topic out there. Okay, and what is the still unexplored area, okay, because the journal editors, okay, they also want, okay, that area. If you are answering the question that already investigated, okay, it's not going to publish it, okay. Yes. So look at those unexplored area and look what's the change and what is the trend. So for that purpose, okay, to get that ideas, instead of reading academic journal, yes, you can read academic journal and their future study suggestion, but I also recommend you to see some tourism industry, okay, trend, or some industry reports and news to find out, okay, to get an idea. So what is the topic? What is the trend out there? Okay. Oh, the social media influencer people's following, there's a travel influencer, okay. And maybe these short form videos trust, okay. And as I mentioned, AI, okay, and use of the augmented reality or fake information issue, okay. Look at what is the topics covered in the news, okay. And then you need to connect to that topics, so that way you can find the research topic in more maybe sexy and attractive to the journal editors. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Thank you very much,
No
Professor.
problem. Thank you for the question.
Okay. Fitri Maria Evelyn, you cannot use the microphone now. If you can speak out, it'll be better communication with Dr. Yu directly.
Oh, there's a question.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, I have feedback that my microphone is a little slow, a little low on voice, like you can hear me
no problem.
clearly. Oh, yes. Professor Yu, first of all, thank you for your presentation. I enjoyed the presentation and it's really helpful for my research interest. Since I have interest in like social media and marketing in general. My name is Evelyn and I'm from Indonesia. Yes, I also have like experience before coming here. I have experience of working in like in a shopping mall environment where I also like meet some like companies and also like do some marketing activities. And from today's presentation, I came up with a question which include the user-generated content and social media influencer. I think that the user-generated content and social media influencer both have like some advantage and also disadvantages, like both to the companies, also for the user itself. And I think that one of the disadvantages of the user-generated content in social media is that the business cannot like control the content created by the users, because like everyone can make contents and they cannot like control each of the content. And some poorly created content by the user could damage the brand reputation. And I think that once damaged, like it's not easy like to gain trust with the user, for example. And however, like with influencer marketing, the brand has like full control of the content. And also some influencers already have experience in working with companies and the brand, and they already established a relationship and engagement with their communities. Like moreover, if they have like good relationship with their communities and followers, the content created by the influencer marketing could also have like some impacts on the like for example the awareness of the products or the engagement, which could maximize the profit itself. And so I wondered, like, what do you think is the best way for like companies to maximize like both the user generated content and also influencer marketing to boost their brand reputation and awareness? Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you, Evelyn, for the timely questions, because social media influencers is another great public relation and marketing strategies that many companies are now using. Okay, so brands identify their influencers, okay, and then do it. I have a couple of ideas, but I'm not sure if that's the best way to maximize it. If I know the strategy and tactics, I'll probably build one of the marketing agency, and make big money. Okay, but the couple of things to consider when brand do the influencer marketing. Okay, they need to know what is the right influencer for their campaign. Okay. Not just mega influencer, because in communication, we categorize influencer in number of different criteria. There's a mega influencer with a good number of followers, usually the celebrity, okay? There's a big celebrity like BTS, mega influencer, right? Because they are celebrity, great number of followers, okay? But there's also micro, super influencer, micro influencer, niche influencer, okay? There's a different types of the social media influencer. So I think the first step is identifying the right influencer for brands, okay? And then once they identify the right influencer, but to identify the right influencer, what they need to understand is they need to have a very clear campaign goals. Okay? What is the objective we want to achieve here? Okay? With these influencer, I'm going to work with the influencer with just a small number of followers, niche influencer. But usually those niche influencers have a very focused and their community social tie is strong. Okay? Because those followers is a small community, they are big teams. But mega influencer social tie is not that strong. Okay? And also when they do it, the pay, okay, the fee they need to pay is different. Okay, so depends on the campaign. If your goal is increase awareness for entire country, and I have enough money, then tourism companies can work with super influencer and mega influencer because their goal is increase awareness of the new product, okay, or the new campaign or new service. Okay. Then they need to work with the influencers with many followers. But if their goal is building community or engaging the audience, then it doesn't need to be the mega influencer. So they need to understand that what is a clear goal here, what is the outcomes I want to achieve. Okay, then identify the right one, then do the campaign. Okay, and also you mentioned when they work with the social media influencer, they can have a full control of the contents. Okay, yes and no. Okay, and but usually the authenticity is also another big keys today. Okay, sometimes the influencers they are sponsored but never disclose it. Okay, that causes a big issue. Maybe at the beginnings the impact is good. Okay, so I think that's something also the marketers need to understand it. Okay, and for your information, in the industry now there are a number of different social media influencer tools. Okay, Tagger, Brandwatch, social listening tools. Okay, that helps the marketers to identify some of the key players and key influencer. And there's also social media influencer marketing agency now. Some of the small marketing agency focusing on just the social media influencer campaign. Okay, so the marketers of the tourism company and organization need to work with those expertise to design the successful campaign. I'm not sure if I answer your question.
Yes, I get like better understanding by your answer. Thank you so much, Professor Liu.
No problem, Evelyn. If you want to learn more about it, feel free to contact me. Then I can share some of the my lecture slide I use for social media marketing for my class. Okay?
Thank you so
Based
much.
on the Evelyn's question, text question, I guess Evelyn, you can find out the way of maximizing UGC and influencer in the future, because the social media influencer or social media content is more closely related to younger generation rather than the old generation. So we are theoretically understanding very well, but tactically or the industry right now we have to catch up exactly. So Evelyn's your age probably is better than us to maximize social media in a context.
Yes.
Professor, thank you.
Yeah, working with the social media influencer is one of the way maximize user-generated contents, because those social media influencers create the content and their followers share it. Okay, and another one of the case study I recently discussed with a student is TikTok challenge. Okay, because TikTok is really popular platforms today. And many now there's a dance challenge, okay, and they give a simple challenge to engage the audience. And I'm not sure if you know Chipotle. It's one of the popular Mexican type of restaurant in the U.S. Okay, and they actually found one of their employees when they pack this food, there's a lead, okay, for these bowls of Chipotle food, and he did his trick to more make it efficient. So he do this lead flip trick, okay, and they posted on Instagram, and that became popular. So they came up with the idea of this lead flip challenge. So more people should try this lead flip when they cover this food. And also for guacamole day, they came up with this guac dance challenge. So many people can participate. So to maximize user-generated content, you need to come up with the easy way to users to engage, easy and fun way, okay, in today's social media platform. Because if it is easy to participate, it's fun, then people's going to participate. Then you can maximize both social media influencer and also their followers create the content with that hashtag. Okay. Yes, I'm going to share that case with Dr. Koo, so you can get it. That's a very interesting case, Chipotle case. Okay.
Good. Other students?
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead.
So I saw
Professor. Yes, Professor. It may not be directly related to UGC, but I have a question regarding AI chatbot services. And there are many cases of using AI in tourism industry, and AI chatbot service is recently being introduced in tourism platforms. I think it is not easy for users to feel authenticity because of its technical characteristic. However, I personally believe that it is important for consumers to convey authenticity to make continuous user intention. From this point of view, do you have any idea about increased consumer trust or authenticity on AI services?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think that's a very important question. Yes, my probably there's a different opinion, but my opinion is our trust level is there's a number of factors. One is the accuracy, which means that sometimes the chatbot robots give the answers, okay, not what I asked. Okay, so there's a technology aspect. So they need to have more correct, okay, and they improve the accuracy of the technology. But another aspect, as I mentioned earlier, the leveraging the social aspect. Okay, sometimes this chatbot doesn't speak human language. Okay, and that decreases the trustworthiness and my trust level. Okay, because I don't feel like I'm speaking with the humans, so that make the consumers frustrated, right? Okay, and sometimes I need to click, and I feel like, oh, I want to speak with a human. Okay, so how we can leverage this social aspect of the technology? So that is idea of the persuasive technology and also media equation theory I mentioned. Okay, so many because many past this technology and recommender system was examined by the computer science scholars who's only seen this technology works, everything algorithm works, but as a human, when we interacted, as I mentioned, we apply the rules we use for our interpersonal relationship. So when we develop this technology, we need to understand this social aspect, and we should leverage that aspect to make it more persuasive technology. Okay. Thank you, Min-jung, for a wonderful question. And I found the Soo-jung also shared something here on chat box. Not a question, but I would like to share my experience regarding the online review as a research topic. Okay. Recently, Soo-jung found that hotel booking platform, 야놀자, starts to provide user reviews abstract by AI. Okay. So they are using this user-generated data. It seems that they attempt to help consumers to make decisions faster by solving the matter of review volume. To me, it was quite helpful to check AI abstracted review in negative aspect, but not effectively engage with positive reviews. That's a limitation. So I read on that there might be differences to receivers' cognition between positive and negative review in terms of approach ways such AI or individual users. Great insight. Okay, why don't you do research about this? Okay, I think this is a great research topic. Yes, AI and also review message balance. Okay, negative review and positive reviews. What is a benefit and what is a negative aspect? Okay. Yes, I think that's very interesting. Okay, thank you, Soo-jung, for sharing your experience. Okay, maybe I should do it. I should do research it. Okay, but
working with her.
Yes, but I'm getting old, so
don't worry.
My passion.
We can make up.
Yeah, we can do it.
Soo-jung, she is under my supervision, so I attach her to you.
I can advise it.
Slow go research.
Yeah, I can advise it. Happy to help her. Okay, if she decided to pursue this research topic. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so it's already 9:55. I think we have time for just one last question or comments, if anyone has it.
Please.
Professor, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, my name is Li Hao. I'm from China. Actually, I'm the marketing the majors, not tourism, but I'm very interested in the tourism industry. So I have two questions related to ethical like consumption or green consumption, or related to sustainability.
Okay.
Like currently, I was doing the project with university professors to investigations. How can we change into like intention, people's green intention into action? Because most like customer or client, they having the great intention to consume like products, but actually they are like the action is not. So I just wondering how can we be using the UGC to change into their intention into reactions? Because I interviewed some like brand stores. They said they having many like reviews into the neighbor blog. And many customers they said they're liking that product, but actually they're purchasing like actually it's not. So I'm just wondering how does the like those store owners to using their social media channels to change their intention. For instance, like sometimes they can use in the UGC, so they can invite some the like customers or like the people they using their services, giving some the real comments like you sharing the before. Or they can be just using some like the tendons, so which is the teaching the people like what is the sustainability is, so which is related to the knowledge. So this is kind of like two different like strategies or some the tasks for their daily business operations. So I'm wondering, so if I using the UGC to into the ethical consumption, how does the brand that they do? The second question is
stop there. Hello, we have 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left. So maybe for your second question, you can email me. Okay. And the first question, I'm not a practitioner, so I don't have any good answer, but I think you already answered it. Educate them using user-generated content and social media, but there's no guarantees that will change their behavior. But it's a strategy and tactic issues. we mentioned about TikTok challenge. Is there any way you can make it more fun way, make people engage it, so increase awareness? Okay, so if people don't read the user-generated content for education purpose, okay, to help the hotel. So the hotel owner need to come up with a more creative way to engage the audience, okay? Yes, I think that's my answer. And I believe some students need to leave it. So I'm going to wrap up, but feel free to email me any question, okay? And maybe we can schedule separate Zoom meeting to discuss about your idea.
Dr. Yu.
Yes.
What time is there?
10 p.m., 9:59 p.m.
Okay, one last closing remark, please, for our students from your side.
One last closing remarks. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your amazing audience. Okay. And thank you for your insightful question and insightful comments. I learned a lot. So thank you, and let's keep in touch.
Okay, Dr. Yu, I'm highly appreciate your acceptance for my request. I had a work with her a couple of years ago, which is a wonderful experience to me. So like she is a social media expert, academia expert. So if you want to work with her, send the email. It's a fantastic, opportunity for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Once again, thank you very much. Look forward to see you soon again in a conference or in Korea.
Yes.
Feel free to contact me, please.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you,
Do
everyone.
not visit the silence in Korea.
Okay. I'll make sure to contact you when I visit Korea. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Okay. And feel free to contact me for any further question. Okay. Thank you. I truly enjoyed it. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.